Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, Ivan here. In today's video I'll give you a very quick look of this recent San Martin release. To be exact, this is the SN0105-G-NB and it's a watch that I'm very pleasantly surprised with. There are a few things that I absolutely love about it, but there are also a couple of things that I wish were made differently. Before we get into it, I just want to let you know that this watch was sent to me for a review by the San Martin Simple Style store on Aliexpress. If you're interested, check the link I've left for you in the description down below. This new model comes in the exact same packaging as the SN054 that I reviewed last week, and as I said then, it's great and you can use it as a one-watch travel case. In the box you also find the typical paperwork, such as the user manual and the warranty card. And finally, there are some bracelet sizing tools, which in this particular case won't be very helpful, but more on that a little bit later. Alright guys, let's continue with the dimensions now. Compared to what you're used to seeing here on the channel, this one is a bit on the smaller side. The case diameter is 38.5 mm, then the lug-to-lug is 47.2, while the thickness is 12.3. Finally, the space between the lugs is 20 mm. And as a result of this compact set of dimensions, this San Martin will fit on most wrists, and here you can see it on mine, which is 17 centimeters or 6.7 inches in circumference. In my opinion, it wears great, and I can assure you that it's very comfortable thanks to the Beads of Rice bracelet. And you know, considering that this is a full stainless steel watch, it's not heavy at all. Sized for me, it weighs only 120 grams. The bracelet is definitely a highlight here, and as I just mentioned, it makes the watch super comfortable to wear. The main reason for this is that the individual links are very small, and then the articulation, as you can see, is fantastic. You also get female end links, which keep the lug-to-lug true to the 47.2 mm that I mentioned earlier. Then the build quality and the finishing are also great. The outer links are brushed while the center beads are high polished. The clasp is just as good, it's milled and it has 4 micro adjustment points. There is just one thing that caused me a little bit of trouble, and that's the screws. They are very small, and the provided screwdriver doesn't fit, and I didn't have a suitable one either, so I left some marks on the screws. Not a big deal, completely my fault. All I'm saying is that if you buy this watch, make sure you have the correct tools to size the bracelet. Next, let's have a word about the design and the build quality of the case. I'll be dead honest, guys. I'm not familiar with Pilot watches and their designs, therefore I can't tell if this one is an homage or not, but if it is, please let me know in the comments below. What I can tell you is that I love the shape of the case. The thin lugs combined with the oversized crown and the top hat sapphire crystal definitely make this watch look very retro, and I like it more than I thought I would. The finishing, as you can expect from a San Martin, is exceptional. The tips of the lugs feel a bit sharp when you pass your finger on them, but they never get in touch with the wrist, so they're perfectly fine to me. I want to mention the crown here as I really like it. Most Pilot watches feature a very generic onion style crown, as people like to call it, but San Martin has put some extra effort by slightly changing the shape and signing it with their logo. Finally, here's a look of the case back. There's nothing engraved on it, but it's screwed in, and even though the crown isn't, the watch is still supposed to deliver 100 meters of water resistance. Now it's time to see what the dial looks like up close. I like the cream color very much and I like the clean layouts, but what I like even more is the handset. Just love the shape. I believe this kind of watch hands are called spade hands, but I might be wrong. Anyways, they look amazing to me, they're beautifully executed, and the blue paint really gives some pop to the dial, which is otherwise quite simple. The only part I'm not quite sure how I feel about is the logo. I wouldn't say it's a deal breaker, but I think the dial might look better without it, which by the way is an option you can opt for when you order the watch. Finally, I want to show you something that's neither a positive nor a negative, and that is the lume. I actually didn't expect this watch to have any, but as you can see, it has some super luminous C3 on the numerals only. And you're right, it doesn't make any sense, but it's there for what it's worth. When it comes to the movement, San Martin have gone for the NH35 once again. A good choice in my opinion, as you know it's a well-proven movement that runs very reliably and it keeps great time as well. From this watch in the dial-up position, I'm getting plus 3 seconds per day and a beat error of just 0.3 milliseconds, which is impressive. Just keep in mind that it's the date version of the NH35, so to hack the watch, you need to pull out the crown twice. Personally, I've never been bothered by that, and since the crown is so large, I doubt it will be a problem for anyone. What I mean is the crown action is fantastic, and everything from winding the watch to setting the time is just super easy to do. In fact, you could easily operate the crown even when the watch is on your wrist. Alright guys, next I want to show you how the SN0105 looks like next to a couple of other watches, so that you can have a better idea of its dimensions. Starting with the SN054 that I reviewed a week ago, it's slightly larger, 39mm of diameter versus 38.5. The lug-to-lug of both watches is also very similar, and so is the thickness. By the way, this GMT has become my favorite San Martin watch, and if you haven't watched my review of it, I strongly recommend you check it out. Finally, here it is next to my Seiko Alpinist Sharp 017. The dimensions are almost identical, and you can expect both watches to look very similar on the wrist. The Alpinist is 1mm wider, and in this particular case, due to the strap called bracelet and its Mayo links, it wears much larger. But when it comes strictly to the dimensions of the watch case, as I said, both watches are very similar. So my final thoughts are that this San Martin is a nice little watch with some great build quality and finishing, and it also comes with a fantastic bracelet. I would say that if you're looking for a vintage-inspired watch with a clean legible dial and spade hands, you may find some value in this one. This is the end of today's video. Feel free to share your opinion in the comments down below, and if you enjoy my content, a sub to the channel will be very much appreciated. Thank you for watching guys, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.